Part 67. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 661. What do you mean? Xiaohuyan frowned and asked in confusion. This Nangongyin is not Nangongyin. Dong Fangyao said lightly, the real Nangongyin must have died in Wuodane Mountain. What? Xiaohuyan was shocked and said, this is impossible. How could he go to Wuodane Mountain to take risks when his clone is here? Adventure. The corners of Dong Fangyao's lips raised and he said, no one knew it was a risk at that time, because since ancient times, our ancient tribe has been able to control the ancient martial arts world. I guess Nangongyin felt that he was sure of the Gu family, so he went there in person. Dong Fangyao continued, who knows, an accident happened in Wuodane Mountain, and his body was killed and completely dissipated. Impossible. Xiaohuyan shook his head and said, the real Nangongyin is at least a 5th level fake elixir. Who in Wuodane Mountain can kill him? According to the news I heard, Zhao from the 11 family also went to Wuodane Mountain. But even if Zhao takes action, Nangongyin has the ability to escape and cannot be killed. Perhaps Nangongyin's strength is limited due to some reasons, but I am sure that my guess is not wrong. Dong Fangyao said confidently, first of all, there are many dangers in the ancient martial arts world. I propose to let Dongfang participate in the war tomorrow because of the relationship between Dongfang Mingxi and me. That boy is very talented and has excellent understanding. Even Master Ji Unchen is very concerned about him and seems to intend to accept him as his disciple. If he were my biological grandson, I would naturally be happy, but he is not of the same blood as me. I will definitely not tolerate him. Dong Fangyao whispered, the reason why I asked him to participate in the war was just to take the opportunity to get rid of him. But Nangongyo is Nangongyin's favorite great-granddaughter. Nangongyin has doted on her since she was a child, almost giving her whatever she wants. Dong Fangyao continued, as an old guy who has lived for hundreds of years, it is impossible for him to agree to the dangers of conquering the ancient martial arts world without knowing it. Besides, before, he mentioned what happened on Wuodane Mountain and said that it was a shame for Dongfang tomorrow and Nangongyo to leave without a fight. Dong Fangyao raised the corner of his mouth and said, but according to what he said, those who went to Wuodane Mountain were separated bodies, and the memories of both parties are not mutually accessible. So, how did he, a person in retreat, know what happened in Wuodane Mountain? Combining everything, there is only one possibility, that is, he is not the real Nangongyin. Dong Fangyao came to the conclusion. It makes sense, it's not right. Xiaohuyan was even more confused and said, Master Dongfang, the 2 points you raised are contradictory. If he is not the real Nangongyin, and the real Nangongyin died in Wuodane Mountain, then it makes sense that he agreed to send his favorite Nangongyo to join the ancient martial arts world. After all, memories are not interoperable. Xiaohuyan continued, but if that's the case, how did he know that Dongfang tomorrow and Nangongyo left Wuodane Mountain without a fight? I can't explain that either. Dong Fangyao shook his head, and then said with firm eyes, however, I can confirm that he is not Nangongyin. As you said, Senior Nangongyin is usually stern and reclusive, and would not tell us so many secrets about yin and yang Pisces like he did today. Dong Fangyao sneered, but he did this. If something goes wrong, there must be a monster. My guess is that he explained so many yin-yang Pisces in order to convey to us the wrong information about yin-yang Pisces. For example, maybe the bodies separated by yin and yang Pisces sometimes have interconnected memories. Dong Fangyao continued, for another example, he wanted to explain why he only had the strength of 2 turns of fake elixirs. In short, he was so smart that he was misled by his cleverness. He was so abnormal today and betrayed him. It makes sense. Xiaohuyan also felt that Dong Fangyao's guess was correct, and then asked, Dongfang Patriarch, what should we do? Report to Lord Ji Unchen. No need. Dong Fangyao smiled and said, whether he is the real Nangongyan or not has nothing to do with us. We don't care what he does, just let him go. Xiaoyan thought about it and felt it made sense, so he stopped continuing the topic and said, Master Dongfang, I also take my leave and return to the Xiaohe family to wait for your orders. After saying that, Xiaoyan quickly left the scene. Nangong Yin, Yin Yang Pisces, haha, this thing is interesting. With this in his mind, Dongfang Yao called up the old antique from the Dongfang family who was in the fake elixir realm, left the Dongfang family, and traveled through the mountains. The next day, a piece of news spread throughout the world. The general meaning is that Nangong Yin of the Nangong family was killed in the wilderness. The suspected provocation from the ancient warrior instantly aroused the hatred of the ancient warrior. It is worth mentioning that Nangong Yin was killed and his property was not owed at all. However, the Yin Yang Pisces, the most precious treasure of the Nangong family that he carried with him, disappeared. Half a month after the meeting of the 10 ancient tribes, under Dongfang Yao's arrangement, cultivators and ancient warriors began to have some minor frictions, but there was not much movement. But 2 months later, the war between the two sides broke out in full force and intensified. After all, the ancient martial arts revolution had not lasted long, and the ancient martial arts world had been weak for a long time. Naturally, it was no match for the top 10 ancient clans. Many sects were defeated and retreated, which was terrible. However, no matter how fiercely the 10 ancient clans fight, there are still some places they dare not set foot on. The first is Mount Tai, the place where Zen is enshrined. As the top force of ancient warriors, Dongfang Yao naturally wanted to lead others to win. But that day, under Mount Tai, a huge golden figure suddenly appeared. Even with the 6th level fake elixir, he still didn't dare to get close. The second place is between the mountains and the sea, Mount Lishan. When the masters of the 10 ancient tribes appeared in Lishan Mountain, the old man who looked thin and small showed no mercy. With one palm shot, he killed dozens of cultivators at the peak of foundation building and even several fake elixir realms. As for the third place, it is Jufeng Mountain. There is no doubt about Wu Qingying's strength. She stood at the foot of the mountain with a cane, and just hit the ground with the cane, and a terrifying power surged out, repelling all the invading enemies. Moreover, she left behind a sentence, which was ethereal and mighty and resounded in Jufeng Mountain. Within half a year, you, the 10 ancient clans, had better be honest. If you go too far, don't blame me for breaking into the ancient clan and overthrowing your foundations. If I can say it, I can do it, even if there are people from outside the territory behind you. Even if someone comes forward, there's nothing you can do to stop it. These words reveal an invincible domineering attitude, looking down on all living beings. From then on, no one from the ancient tribe dared to set foot on Jufeng Mountain. Even because of Wu Qingying's words, their pace of conquering the ancient martial arts world slowed down a lot. Just like that, half a year passed in the blink of an eye. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 662. In the past 6 months, there has been constant friction between the ancient martial arts world and the 10 major ancient clans. Although there are many fake elixir masters among the ancient tribe, there are also 3 masters from outside the region. But Jian Chen, Chang Feng, and the last foreign master did not come forward. It was unknown whether they were afraid of something or for other reasons. In the ancient martial arts world, many masters have also been born, such as the Old Man of Lishan, Shi Hehan, Abbot Yuantong, and Wu Qingying. The most powerful person is Wu Qingying. Standing at the foot of Jufeng Mountain, he dares to challenge the 10 ancient clans. Even the experts from outside the area did not take it seriously, threatening that if the other party did not restrain themselves, she would destroy the 10 ancient clans. In this way, there was only some minor friction between the two sides, and there were no major casualties. But Those ancient martial arts circles that participated in the destruction of the Su family before, led by Qing Changshan, have gone on the opposite side of the ancient martial arts circles. They knew that Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family, became the leader of the ancient martial arts alliance. He also used the feedback from the ancient martial arts revolution to help 10 people reach the sky in one step, be promoted to martial master, and befriend many strong ancient martial arts masters. As long as Su Yang said a word, or even without taking action himself, their sect would fall apart. Then, those sects chose to surrender to the 10 ancient clans and became the lackeys of the 10 ancient clans. The top 10 ancient clans did not give up their intention to conquer the ancient martial arts world because of Wu Qingying, Lishan Old Man, Shi Hehan and other ancient martial arts masters, but only slowed down their pace. Under the leadership of Dongfang Yao, they tested step by step, challenged Wu Qingying and others' bottom line, and gradually encroached on the ancient martial arts world. However, there are so many rocks in Mount Tai that the old man of Mount Lishan and the abbot of Mount Bodhi, Yuan Tong, are already stretched thin if they can take care of their respective mountain gates, so they naturally do not meddle in their own business. Wu Qingying probably didn't want to fight to the death with the top 10 ancient tribes and experts from outside the territory, so she chose to remain silent. All in all, in the past 6 months, there have been constant disputes in the world, people are panicked, and there is no peace. It is worth mentioning that Dongfang Mingri and Nangang Yowei did not follow the arrangements of their elders and participate in the battle against the ancient martial arts world. They used physical discomfort as an excuse to practice in seclusion and never go out. This kind of small friction can be regarded as a little peace for the ancient family. But this situation was broken half a month ago. Half a month ago, there was a sudden change in the sky. The clear sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds. Immediately afterwards, a hole was torn in the sky, and 10 figures walked out of the crack and came to the earth. On that day, Jian Chen, Changfeng, and another master from outside the territory came out to greet him. It was also from that time that the balance was broken and the ancient martial arts world fell into unprecedented darkness. Because those 10 people are all powerful people from outside the territory, and after coming to the earth, they showed the strength of the nascent soul realm, shocking all directions. There is no doubt that these 10 people are the masterpieces of Immortal Emperor Yanlong, Immortal Emperor Tuoba, and Immortal Emperor Baiyu. Originally, they were in the realm of transformed gods. After coming to the earth, they were suppressed and only had the strength of nascent soul. But even so, it is still not to be underestimated, it is extremely terrifying, let alone 10 people. After these 10 foreign masters at the nascent soul realm came to earth, they powerfully took over the 10 ancient tribes, using the ancient tribes as a stepping stone to radiate the world. Collect good things when you see them, and take possession of beautiful women when you see them. Anyone who resists will be killed without mercy. For a time, the world was in chaos and people were panicked. 2 days ago, a nascent soul realm master set foot between the mountains and the sea, hoping to occupy Mount Lishan and let the Taoist priests from Mount Lishan serve outside the territory. The old man of Lishan still disagreed and fought with him. In the past half year, old man Lishan has also made progress and has reached the peak of Wuzun, which is equivalent to the peak of Dan formation. But the person who came was from the nascent soul realm. The old man in Lishan resisted to no avail and was severely injured. As a result, Lishan was lost. On the same day, Mount Tai, the place where Zen was enshrined, and Mount Bodhi, the pure land of Buddhism, both fell. Facing the masters from outside the realm of nascent soul, even these two transcendent forces are still unable to fight. Everyone in the world's ancient warriors are terrified, fearing that they will be slaughtered by experts from outside the region. Nowadays, Jufeng Mountain is the only pure land in the world. 10 foreign masters in the nascent soul realm have not set foot on Jufeng Mountain. Because of this, ancient warriors all over the world moved closer to Jufeng Mountain, hoping to be protected by Jufeng Mountain. The 10 foreign masters did not stop him, but just announced that in 2 days, they would visit Jufeng Mountain in person to meet Wu Qingying, the legendary first person in ancient martial arts. Moreover, he also said that the grievances between them and the ancient martial arts community would be completely resolved in Jufeng Mountain in 2 days, and asked Wu Qingying to think about it early. He hoped that Wu Qingying would think about it clearly and not be disrespectful. As for the previously defeated old man of Lishan, Shi Hehan, Abbot Yuantong, and others, the 10 foreign masters of the nascent soul realm did not kill them, but imprisoned them all. Because before coming here, immortal Emperor Yanlong had promised to preserve the Earth's ancient martial arts system. He was quite interested in the ancient martial arts system and planned to study it. As for the Fengzhen land, between the mountains and the sea, and Bodhi Mountain, these forces are the best in the ancient martial arts world and have profound foundations. Naturally, 10 foreign masters will not wipe them out rashly. 2 days later, 10 foreign masters made an agreement 2 days later to put pressure on Wu Qingying. Wu Qingying is naturally the backbone of the entire ancient martial arts world. As long as Wu Qingying is captured, it will be equivalent to breaking the backbone of the ancient martial arts world. Then he can control this force. Certainly. They will not forget their purpose of coming to Earth. After clearing the obstacle of the ancient martial arts world, they can concentrate on dealing with Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family. I didn't expect that the dignified immortal Emperor Xiantian would actually be reincarnated on Earth. Haha, it's simply ridiculous. At this time, a short white-haired old man from the Dongfang family showed a disdainful smile and turned to ask Jian Chen next to him, "It has been a while since I came to the Earth. I have recovered from the injuries I sustained when I rushed into the Earth. It's almost time to go out for a walk, Jian Chen. Where is that Su Yang now?" Immortal Emperor Xiantian is Su Yang. This news was told to him by Immortal Emperor Yanlong. His main purpose of coming to Earth was to find Su Yang and strangle him in the cradle to prevent Immortal Emperor Xiantian from growing up. Reporting to Master Netherworld, I have investigated clearly and Su Yang is in Kunlun Mountain at the moment. Jian Chen lowered his head in response, with a hint of unnoticeable unwillingness in his eyes. He and the short old man were both subordinates of the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, and both were in the realm of becoming gods. Original. Jian Chen didn't take Genren Nether seriously at all, and his opponent dismissed him. Because his sword intention has already reached great perfection, the netherworld of the same realm can naturally not enter his eyes. But now, Master Netherworld has come to Earth, retaining the peak strength of nascent soul. And even though I was at the peak of nascent soul at the beginning, I was weakened to the point of forming a core by that big shot, and had to succumb to the inferiority of Genren Netherworld. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 663. Is that Kunlun Mountain? Master Yuming smiled softly, and then said with a stern look, "I heard that the ancient starry sky road and the natural formation that protects the earth are both there. In that case, I will go there. Jian Chen, lead the way. You come with me. I want to see how mysterious Kunlun Mountain is," Master Netherworld said. Yes. He nodded in agreement and then reminded, "By the way, Master Netherworld, Mr. Fengzi announced today that in 2 days, he will go to Jufeng Mountain to make a final break with the ancient martial arts world. Do you also want to go? Jufeng Mountain." Master Netherworld frowned and said, "Is this the same force that Wu Qingying, the #1 ancient martial artist you mentioned, belongs to?" Exactly. Jian Chen responded, "Originally, the 3 of us wanted to take over the ancient martial arts world half a year ago, but it was this Wu Qingying who forced us to give up. I have been to Jufeng Mountain secretly. Although I have not fought with her, from a distance, I can sense that her strength is very strong. She must not be in the realm of martial master. Jian Chen continued, so, just in case, Chang Feng, Huang Xing, I decided to wait for a while before sanctioning the ancient family. The three of us are trying to break through to nascent soul. If you can return to the nascent soul realm, you can naturally defeat that Wu Qingying easily, but I didn't expect. Just as Jian Chen was talking, Master Yu Ming smiled playfully and said, I just have no idea that 10 of us will come. Jian Chen, are you unwilling? After all, you and I were in the same realm before, and I didn't even have the same real strength, not as good as you, but now, I can crush you with just one finger, so you have to obey my orders. I don't dare. Jian Chen hurriedly clasped his fists and lowered his head, and responded in a low voice. He. Even if you don't want to give in, you still have to endure it. You should understand that strength is respected. Master Yuming sneered twice and did not continue the topic. Instead, he said, I will not get involved in the matter of Zhifeng Mountain. I don't think anyone else will go either. Fengzi is eager for quick success and quick gain, so let him do it himself. When we come to Earth this time, we will not return empty-handed. It is said that the Earth was once extremely glorious, and there was even a being that surpassed the immortal emperor. That's why the flame dragon immortal emperor is full of curiosity about the Earth. He cannot enter the Earth due to the guardian formation. He cannot know everything about what is happening here. This is a good opportunity. Maybe I can find an opportunity to advance to transcend tribulation, or even set foot on the immortal emperor. Old man Yuming thought to himself, and then he took Jian Chen with him and left, heading straight for Kunlun Mountain. The 10 people who came to Earth this time were all subordinates of immortal Emperor Yanlong. After arriving on Earth, they realized that they had lost some connection with the flame dragon immortal emperor, so they became interested in Earth's resources. Moreover, the 10 of them made an agreement that the resources of the Earth belong to whoever sees them, and they are not allowed to do anything over this matter. Secondly, and most importantly, what happened on the Earth must not be told to Yanlong immortal emperor, otherwise they will all die. Then, the 10 of them separated and kept in contact with each other, searching for the Earth's resources everywhere. Only, since Master Netherworld was seriously injured during his visit to Earth, he came to the Dongfang family to recuperate and has not participated in the search. He couldn't rob the things that other experts from outside the territory searched for, so he gave Kunlun Mountain to him. Among the 10 people, only he can go to Kunlun Mountain to search for cultivation resources. Master Netherworld has always longed for Kunlun Mountain, and he is naturally very satisfied. At this moment, in a valley, Guoyi has finished his cultivation state, wearing a light dark-colored gown and a feather fan scarf. He stood outside the valley, clasped his fists towards the valley, and said respectfully, Senior, thank you for your selfless teaching and learning in the past 6 months. When I see the master and get his consent, I will definitely accept you as my teacher. Haha, okay, you go ahead. An old and ethereal voice came from the valley, reminding, now, there are 10 more powerful auras on the Earth, and they must all be nascent soul masters. You have to be careful. Qian Sha said anxiously, he is already at the nascent soul realm, and it is said that he is at the peak of the nascent soul. Not only him, but perhaps other masters from outside the realm will also come. What should we do? Wu Qingying looked up into the distance and sighed deeply. And my strength has also undergone earth-shaking changes. It is not a big problem to run rampant on the earth, Su Yang murmured to himself. In short, after half a year of seclusion, Su Yang had done everything he needed to do, and it was time to come out. Wu Qingying said in a calm tone, soldiers will block it, water will cover it, and soil will cover it. As long as I am here, Zhifeng Mountain will be there. Finally a breakthrough, haha. In the past 6 months, Su Yang has been practicing, and his body is motionless and covered with dust. Guo Yi responded respectfully, then turned around and left the valley with a fan in hand. With strong curiosity, Su Yang strode away from the light pillar with the void tower above his head in mid-air. At the same time, Kunlun Mountain, within the guarding light pillar. Guo Yi, haha, this disciple is not bad. He has his own city in his heart. His way of serving as an official is not weaker than that of Suqin and Zhang Yi, and his way of using soldiers is not weaker than that of Sun Tzu Baiqi. Suwuji didn't defeat me at that time. We were just both losing. Wu Qingying had already learned about the agreement 2 days later, and stood on the top of the mountain with a cane, her face as calm as ever. But, old woman, that is a cultivator in the nascent soul realm. Suwuji had never reached this realm more than 100 years ago. Qian Sha was worried. You must use the cleaning fan I left for you with caution. It contains 1/10 of the power of my imperial weapon. Zhifeng Mountain. All the resources in the 2 storage rings, as long as they contained spiritual energy, were absorbed by Su Yang, and his realm made a huge leap. But when he saw the scene of Kunlun Mountain outside, his face suddenly darkened, and his eyes filled with overwhelming anger. With your current level, if you activate the cleaning fan, you will inevitably suffer backlash. If there is no emergency, just treat it as an ordinary feather fan, Gigutzi said patiently. Suddenly, Su Yang opened his eyes, and there was a heart-stopping fierceness in his eyes. Yes. Too many things have happened in the past 6 months. If you don't come out, your relatives and friends may not be able to hold on anymore. Hey. Why panic? Wu Qingying showed a confident smile, and then comforted her, don't worry, no one can break into Zhifeng Mountain, but Shu'er, she has been sleeping for half a year. Descendants of the Su family, when will you be able to come out of seclusion? Old woman, in 2 days that Mr. Fengzi will set foot on Zhifeng Mountain. The secret of reincarnation has also undergone qualitative changes, and the void tower has also been repaired, and it already has 5 floors. Watching Guo Yi leave, Gigutzi stroked his beard and said with a satisfied smile, not bad, not bad. I didn't expect to receive such a disciple at this time. I hope he can play a role in the revival of spiritual energy. He originally had a storage ring that contained the laws of space. Later, Ximen Fenjian sent resources and gave him another one. Now, half a year has passed, and I still don't know what's going on outside. Is my family okay? Su Yang raised a playful smile at the corner of his mouth and smiled softly. Half a year has passed by in a flash, but this time was not wasted in the end. The energy stones and old medicine in the 2 storage rings have all been refined by me. Absorb. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 664. Blood. Corpse. The Kunlun Mountains outside the light pillar were covered with blood, and the ground was covered with blood. There were 20 or 30 corpses scattered around, and their death conditions were extremely tragic. Not far away, there were 7 or 8 people lighting a fire on the spot, seemingly having a picnic. Beer, barbecue, so uncomfortable, completely ignoring the blood stains and corpses on the ground. Seeing this scene, Su Yang was instantly furious, and the killing intent in his eyes soared into the sky. What happened in Kunlun Mountain? Where did Su Qingying go? Were my relatives and friends taken to Kunlun? Did anything happen to them? When he thought of this, Su Yang's eyes turned red and he strode towards the 7 or 8 people having a picnic not far away. And these people didn't pay attention to Su Yang at all, so they naturally didn't realize that the danger was coming. This Kunlun Mountain is really magical. There is such a powerful light pillar. We are already at the peak of foundation building, but we can't get close. I heard the head of the family talking to someone. This light pillar seems to be some kind of protective formation that communicates with the entire earth. We are just little shrimps. According to the confessions of those in Kunlun Mountain, the descendants of the Suk family are in seclusion within the Pillar of Light. I don't know what their strength is now. Haha, he just set foot on foundation building half a year ago. It's only been half a year. What changes can there be? If he can reach the middle stage of foundation building at most and the late stage, he will be considered a top genius. Among the 7 of us, who can't easily handle him? He is so weak, he can actually enter the light pillar, but we are all at the peak of foundation building, but we can't get close. It's really strange. Perhaps he has some treasure that can withstand the oppression of the light beam. It would be great if he walked out of it now. It would be a great achievement for us brothers to catch him. 7 cultivators at the pinnacle of foundation building were enjoying themselves while eating kebabs and talking. At this moment, Su Yang approached and said coldly, "Who are you and who sent you here?" Swish, swish, swish. In an instant, the 7 people at the scene reacted, stood up in a hurry, and stared at Su Yang warily, with a look of panic on everyone's face. Among them, a middle-aged man in his 50s stared at Su Yang and asked in a deep voice, "Who are you?" In his opinion, if Su Yang could appear here quietly, he must be a strong man, so he did not dare to take action rashly. The other 6 people also realized in an instant that the young man in front of them was not simple, so they felt like they were facing a formidable enemy. Haha, just now you kept saying that you wanted to catch me and make meritorious deeds. Why, you don't know me, Su Yang sneered. With his current strength, he could kill the 7 people present with just a raised hand. But Su Yang had just come out of seclusion and didn't know what was going on in the outside world, so he planned to ask before taking action. Su Yang, you are Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family. The middle-aged man was shocked, and then said in fear, "The aura on your body, has you condensed the golden elixir?" Su Yang did not answer this question, but said coldly, "Tell me who the head of the family is in your mouth, otherwise, I will kill you without mercy." "Impossible, this is impossible." The middle-aged man shook his head and said in disbelief, "There is something ominous between heaven and earth. How could you condense the golden elixir? You." Puff. Before he could finish his words, Su Yang started to move, his fingers were like knives, and he swiped lightly, and a terrifying force came out, cutting off the middle-aged man's head in an instant. The head fell to the ground, a headless corpse appeared, bright red blood burst out, and then collapsed to the ground. This scene instantly frightened the remaining 6 people. They were all frightened and their expressions changed drastically. "I don't like to hear nonsense." Su Yang killed the chicken to scare the monkey, then looked at the person closest to him and said coldly, "Can you answer my question?" I. This cultivator at the pinnacle of foundation building was so frightened that his tongue trembled and he was speechless for a moment. Yes, the master of the family ordered us to stay here. Let us closely monitor the light pillar. As soon as you step out of it, we will capture it immediately. It can be said that Su Yang's decisive move completely frightened these 3 people. Among the 5 of you, does anyone still want to be like the 2 of them? Su Yang's gaze was like a knife, and he lightly swept over the remaining 5 foundation building peaks. Su Yang's face was as dark as water, he stared at the last person, and said sternly, "What you said is true or false? Tell me, who is the person who broke into Kunlun Mountain?" Puff. The Su King you are talking about should be the man who controls the mysterious formation. He is not dead either. The head of the family took him away personally. If you want to save people, you can go to the Dongfang family. Naturally, Su Yang would not show mercy. He raised his hand to brush it off and said coldly, "You are not active in answering questions and your belief in survival is not strong. What use do you have?" For half a year, Su Yang practiced quietly, blocking out everything from the outside world, which was equivalent to closing his circle of friends. But among the 5 people, 3 opened their mouths to answer Su Yang's questions, while the other two hesitated and did not speak. Puff. Subsequently, the next moment, all 5 people knelt on the ground, their bodies trembling with fear. Master Su, this is all the family master's intention. Please be noble and spare our lives. As for Su King Ai, he controlled the Luo Tianheng furnace formation. Logically speaking, Kunlun Mountain should be safe and sound. What happened? Su Yang didn't know the situation in Kunlun Mountain, but he was very confused. Puff. Yes, they are all in the Dongfang family. The head of the family imprisoned those people. Not only Su King Ai, the bodies of her relatives and friends are also not in Kunlun Mountain. The 3 remaining top-level foundation builders sweated secretly when they saw this scene, thankful that they had saved their lives, and at the same time, they were as afraid of Su Yang as a tiger. Whatever happens outside, even if the sky falls apart, he won't notice it. Therefore, this person's methods are too cruel. If you hesitate even a little, death will be waiting for you. You must answer the questions proactively. Before going into seclusion, Su Yang set up the Luo Tian heating furnace formation, which had amazing defensive power. Even cultivators at the nascent soul realm could not break through the formation. Thump. Su, Master Su, we come from one of the 10 ancient clans, the Dongfang family, and Dongfang Yao is the head of our family. Puff. Reporting to Mr. Su, about 3 days ago, Kunlun Mountain was breached. Some of the people on the mountain died, and the others were taken away by people sent by our family master. But as they finished speaking, Su Yang took action and decisively killed both of them, leaving only one person behind. One thing that Su Yang was more gratified about was that he let go of his soul and did not find Su King Ai's body. Kunlun Mountain, what happened? Where did Su King Ai go? Where did the people on the mountain go? At this time, Su Yang asked in a deep voice. Waiting for him, the same head fell to the ground. The corpse was separated on the spot. The head fell on the ground, its eyes were wide open, and it was dead. After coming out of seclusion, Su Yang became the immortal emperor, the real Xiantian immortal emperor. Facing these people, he still showed no mercy. If someone really breaks through Kunlun, those people will naturally not be so kind as to collect the bodies of Su King Ai and others. Then there is only one possibility. Su King Ai and others may not be dead, but just taken away. The 3 of them rushed to answer, fearing that if they were slow to answer, Su Yang would directly write them off. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 665. Nowadays, Su Yang's consciousness was astonishing, and he could tell at a glance that the 3 people in front of him were not completely telling the truth, but what they said was not entirely false. Su, Mr. Su, we dare not lie to you. Everything we say is true. Su King Ai and the others are indeed not dead. They are all locked up. I can swear to God. Yes, if you don't believe it, you can go to the Dongfang family to find out. The 3 surviving Peak Foundation building masters were obviously a little guilty, but they still spoke one after another, hoping to dispel Su Yang's doubts. Snort. Su Yang snorted coldly, with a sharp look in his eyes, and said sternly, since you are unwilling to tell the truth, don't blame me for being rude. As soon as he finished speaking, Su Yang took action decisively, killing the 3 people in an instant. Immediately afterwards, Su Yang stared at the corpse on the ground, spread out his palms, and said in a deep voice, search for souls. Buzz. The next moment, a ball of spiritual energy surged out of Su Yang's palm and entered the mind of one of the Peak Foundation builders. Search for souls. This is a relatively common secret technique that can be used on low-level cultivators. However, if you want to use the soul-searching secret technique, you need to at least reach the realm of pill formation. Therefore, Su Yang did not try to master the secret skill before, but this time he went into retreat to review it. In his current state, using soul search actually involves a lot of losses, so he didn't use it directly just now. But these people refused to tell the truth, so Su Yang had no choice but to use the secret soul searching technique. As the soul searching secret technique unfolded, Su Yang saw the memory in the mind of the Peak Foundation builder. Originally, these people were all from the Nangong family. About a few days ago, a middle-aged man in his 30s, dressed in black, led dozens of masters from the Nangong family to Kunlun Mountain. The middle-aged man in black is a master who came from outside the territory across the void. He has the strength of the peak of nascent soul, and his name is Young Master Fengzi. Kunlun Mountain is guarded by the Luo Tianheng Furnace Formation, and even a peak nascent soul could not break through Kunlun Mountain's defense. But Master Fengzi was cunning, and told Su King Ai that he knew Su Wuzi's whereabouts. Su King Ai cares about his master, and in the past 6 months, he has not made any progress. He has already reached the peak of pill formation. He feels that even if he goes out, he is sure to return to the Luo Tianheng Furnace Formation as soon as possible. So, he walked out of Kunlun Mountain and met Mr. Fengzi alone. Young Master Fengzi was at the peak of nascent soul, and the result was predictable. He captured Su King Ai alive with just one move. Originally, he planned to kill Su King Ai, but then he remembered that Su King Ai still had several senior brothers. Therefore, Master Fengzi spared Su King Ai's life and told Su King Ai with a sneer that he would use him as bait. Su King Ai became so angry that she wanted to commit suicide in order to put an end to Master Fengzi's conspiracy. Unfortunately, Mr. Fengzi controlled him in an instant, making it difficult for him to die. Mr. Fengzi was extremely curious, and he did notice the presence of someone in the light pillar from a distance. As a result, before he could get even 3 meters closer to the light pillar, he was bounced away by the terrifying power emitted by the light pillar. Mr. Fengzi ordered, "Didn't you just say that when Su Yang entered the light pillar, it was only in the early stage of Foundation establishment? Just send a few Peak Foundation establishment members to guard here. It will only take half a year, and he will not be able to change the world." Mr. Fengzi murmured to himself, "Master suspects that a powerful man who surpassed the immortal emperor was born on earth. It seems that he is close to him." Su Yang's eyes were filled with endless anger, pouring down like stars falling from the sky. The head of the Nangong family came over and told Mr. Fengzi that he had interrogated several Kunlun servants and found out that Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family, was practicing in the Pillar of Light. Mr. Fengzi smiled softly and said, "After so many years, I don't know if Su Wuji still exists. Haha, now that I have captured his descendants, and the world is about to be in chaos, I guess I can force him to come out and see him. Who, get out of here. Next, I'm going to Jufeng Mountain. You come with me. However, remember to arrange for someone to keep an eye on this place and notify me as soon as possible when the descendant of the Su family comes out of seclusion." After receiving the order, the head of the Nangong family left 7 foundation building peaks behind, and then left with them. Mr. Fengzi knew that this was the natural formation to protect the earth, so he was very cautious and walked in slowly to test it out. Su Yang could clearly see his grandfather and father, as well as Su King Ai, being escorted away through the memory of this peak-level foundation builder, as well as Su King Ai. Therefore, Master Fengzi did not massacre all the people on Kunlun Mountain. Without Su King Ai, the Luo Tianheng Furnace Formation would not be of much use. Such a powerful force, no wonder my master has never set foot in it at its peak. Su Wuji's name can always be heard from his master's mouth. Even my master Yanlong Immortal Emperor is full of praise for him. I really want to meet this person. This formation cannot be broken by a cultivator at the Immortal Emperor level. At the same time, Master Nangong, now the 10 major ancient tribes on earth have surrendered to the outside world. Among the ancient tribes, only Jufeng Mountain is still alive. If the head of the Nangong family hadn't come forward and told young Master Fengzi that they were Suwazi's closest relatives, the two of them would have died at the hands of young Master Fengzi. After leaving some words, Mr. Fengzi left. Although he was interested in Su Yang, he did not take Su Yang seriously. Su Shenbing and Su Qianqian had average talents. Even if they were taken to Kunlun Mountain and assisted by a large number of energy stones and old medicine, they were only at the 8th level of Qi training. After learning the identities of Su Shenbing and Su Qianqian, Master Fengzi showed strong interest and had people control them. They were brought back to the Nangong family. Also taken away with them were many people who originally lived in Kunlun. Descendants of the mountain's descendants. Just when he was about to go to the Nangong family to rescue people according to the route obtained by searching the soul, he suddenly noticed that a strong man was coming to Kunlun. His eyes suddenly froze and he said in a deep voice, "Master Fengzi." This shocked Mr. Fengzi. He couldn't even enter the guarding light pillar. How did Su Yang get in? A new outsider expert. Haha, today, I will kill you. Back then, Suwaji did not die, he just failed to advance to nascent soul. The reason why the three immortal emperors determined that he was killed by the thunder tribulation was to win the bet with immortal emperor Xiantian. Young Master Fengzi led the masters of the Nangong family into the Kunlun mountains with ease. More than 100 years ago, the three immortal emperors believed that Suwazi had died from a thunderstorm. However, I have served my master for many years, but I have heard a different story. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 666. The person who came was very powerful, but he still did not escape Su Yang's spiritual detection. As soon as the opponent approached Kunlun, Su Yang sensed it. Snored. Damn Mr. Fengzi, you are such a bastard. As Su Yang finished speaking, a short old man, with a man carrying a broken sword on his back, appeared not far away from Su Yang. These two people are naturally the Netherworld Master who came to Earth recently, and Jian Chen, one of the 4 extraterrestrial masters who came to Earth 100 years ago. After Master Netherworld landed, his eyes did not fall on Su Yang, but looked around with an angry look in his eyes. Fengzi, apart from occupying the Dongfang family these days, I have not intervened in plundering the Earth. You have obviously promised to give Kunlun to me, why did you come first? Master Yuming was furious and said angrily, you really think I'm easy to bully? I must settle this debt with you. Through the soul-searching secret technique, Su Yang already knew that 10 powerful extraterritorial cultivators descended on the Earth some time ago and occupied the 10 ancient tribes respectively. The person in charge of the Nangong family is Master Fengzi. The old man who appeared in front of him mentioned Master Fengzi's name without any fear. He must be one of the 10. In this case, Su Yang was no longer polite, and asked with a serious face, "Old dog, who is your master? Who opened the space rift and sent you to the Earth?" Master Yuming then looked at Su Yang, frowned and said, "Who are you?" "Descendant of the Su family, Su Yang," Su Yang responded coldly. Su Yang. When Master Netherworld learned about Su Yang's identity, he immediately showed a smile, "Haha, it's really hard to find a place without wearing iron shoes. It took no effort at all to get it. There are some things that the Master only told me, but did not inform Mr. Fengzi or others." Master Netherworld smiled and said, "Su Yang, do you know the main purpose of our visit to Earth this time? If you have something to say, say it quickly. If you don't say it, you won't have a chance," Su Yang said calmly, showing no fear in the face of Master Netherworld. "Haha, what a loud tone." Master Yuming looked at Su Yang and said with a playful smile, "Before coming to the Earth, the Master told the others to let them clean the Earth and control it. But this is just an illusion. The master's real purpose is to kill you. Master Yuming smiled coldly. Who would have thought that the dignified immortal Emperor Xiantian would now become a cultivator in the foundation building realm, ha ha ha. More than 100 years ago, if you hadn't stopped me, my master and the other two immortal emperors would have destroyed the earth long ago. He naturally hates you to the core. Master Netherworld said with some pride, I am the most trusted person by the master. He is worried that the other 9 people will have other ideas if they know your identity, such as catching you, forcing you to hand over your secret skills, etc. Leaving the Void Tower, the Imperial weapon, will inevitably lead to a lot of trouble. Therefore, the master only told me this news, Immortal Emperor Xiantian. I didn't expect to meet you in Kunlun Mountain today. Ha ha ha, it seems that the way of heaven is fair. This trip to Kunlun Mountain is well worth it. Xiantian Immortal Emperor came to Earth more than 100 years ago. Regarding this matter, Su Yang had already made a guess and it was confirmed, so naturally he would not be surprised at this time. However, I must have lost part of my memory about what happened more than 100 years ago. Now, Su Yang even began to speculate that he was not reborn as a soul, but reappeared directly on the earth as a baby. He is Su Yang, the real Su Yang, Xiantian Immortal Emperor, who is worthy of the title of his previous life. The reason for this speculation is because of the bet made more than 100 years ago. Su Yang could be sure that he was Wang Yangming, the big shot in the mouth of Su Mo and Ximen Fenjian. More than 100 years ago, Immortal Emperor Xiantian and 3 immortal emperors from outside the region made a bet with Su Wuji. As a result, Su Wuji failed to advance to Yuanying, his life or death was uncertain, and Immortal Emperor Xiantian suffered a complete defeat. In order to fulfill the agreement, he must no longer interfere with the 3 immortal emperors to launch an attack on the earth. Therefore, Immortal Emperor Xiantian wandered around for many years. Finally, more than 20 years ago, he used the secret technique of reincarnation to be reborn in Shi Yuyan's body and became Su Yang, an earthling through and through. He had nothing to do with Immortal Emperor Xiantian anymore, so he could continue get involved in earth affairs. Immortal Emperor Xiantian happens to possess the secret technique of reincarnation. The most important thing is that although this secret technique retains all the means of cultivation, it will lose a piece of memory. Besides, the secret technique of reincarnation will awaken one day when the second life reaches the age of more than 20, inherit the power of the soul scattered in all directions, and condense a powerful soul. This is completely consistent with Su Yang's situation. It was also because of this powerful soul power and lack of memory that Su Yang felt that he had conquered the 9 nether hells and his remaining soul had been reborn. Master Netherworld, I got news half a year ago. I heard that Su Yang, a descendant of the Su family, was in the early stages of foundation building at that time, and later came to Kunlun Mountain for retreat. At this time, Jian Chen, who was carrying the broken sword on his back, spoke up and said disdainfully, I didn't expect that half a year later, he is still in the foundation building realm. Ha ha ha, it seems that the reincarnation of the Immortal Emperor is nothing more than this. Is this happening? Hearing this, Master Netherworld paused for a moment, then turned to smile and said, Xiantian Immortal Emperor, you lost the bet again. You can choose a good body by rebirth, but you have been reincarnated and rebuilt, and you have been in ignorance for more than 20 years. What's the matter? Do you really think you can protect the earth? Su Yang pulled away from his memories, met the eyes of Master Netherworld, and said coldly, Is your master the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor? Anyway, you can't make any trouble, so there's no harm in telling me. My master is none other than the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor. Master Netherworld continued, in addition to my master, the White Jade Immortal Emperor and the Tuoba Immortal Emperor also participated in the master's plan. Baiyu Immortal Emperor, you Baiyu. Su Yang was not familiar with Immortal Emperor Tuoba, but he was extremely familiar with the name of Immortal Emperor Baiyu. Back then, among the many immortal emperors who sent Su Yang into the 9 nether hells, there was this white jade immortal emperor. Haha, Su Yang, with your current strength, are you worthy of mentioning the name of immortal emperor? Master Netherworld took a step forward and said confidently, I will give you 2 choices now. 1. Give up resistance, follow me and leave, and then hand over all your secret techniques and all your treasures to me. As for the second way, haha, you will be wiped out by me, with no bones left and your soul scattered. Master Netherworld smiled playfully and said, you were once an immortal emperor after all. You are still useful to me. You can serve me as my master. I will spare your life. Therefore, I suggest you choose the first path. Immortal Emperor Xiantian, you are a smart man and know the importance of choice. I hope you can make the right decision to avoid losing your life in vain. When Master Netherworld finished speaking, a cold light flashed in his eyes, completely covering Su Yang. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 667. Facing the threat from Master Netherworld, Su Yang showed no fear at all and instead showed a smile. Haha, you keep saying that Yanlong Immortal Emperor trusts you, but you directly ask me for the secret skills and the Void Tower. Su Yang smiled softly and said, aren't you afraid that Emperor Yanlong will find out and punish you? This question is very important. Su Yang is still unable to compete with a strong person at the level of the Immortal Emperor. If he alarms the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, he will definitely not be able to resist. Therefore, before taking action, Su Yang first tested the tone of Master Netherworld. So what? Master Netherworld smiled playfully and said, the hands of Immortal Emperor Yanlong are not that long, otherwise he would not have sent us into the earth. To tell you the truth, he originally planned to use the power of the other 2 immortal emperors to forcefully set foot on the earth. Master Netherworld continued, unfortunately, the earth's protective formation was so powerful that his wish failed. Now, he is outside the territory. Even if he monitors the earth all the time, he cannot know the specific things happening inside the earth. Unless there is a particularly big noise, he will be alarmed. Master Netherworld said unscrupulously, even if it agitates him, it won't be a big deal. Currently, Immortal Emperor Yanlong cannot enter the earth. The earth's protective formation has been strengthened, unlike more than 2,000 years ago. Even if the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor seals his strength, it will be difficult for him to set foot on the earth at the Quasi-Emperor level. Master Netherworld said without any secret, as far as I know, he can barely enter the earth at this time only by lowering his worth and reaching the realm of transcending tribulation. But there is a powerful existence in the earth. The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor enters the realm of transcending tribulation, and there is only one way to die. Master Yuming didn't take Su Yang into his eyes at all, and said with a playful smile, so, even if he knows, what can he do? You mean, there are masters on earth who can transcend tribulations? Su Yang grasped the key point and asked curiously. Good. After overcoming the tribulation, one reaches the threshold of the emperor level and is called a quasi-emperor, and then becomes a true immortal emperor. Is there such a powerful cultivator on earth? If there was no quasi-emperor on earth, the Yanlong Immortal Emperor would have entered the earth at the quasi-emperor level thousands of years ago. Master Netherworld smiled and said, when Immortal Emperor Yanlong entered the earth with the gate of time and space, he did not clear out the powerful people on the earth. There were a few fish that slipped through the net and were quite powerful. Originally, the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor stayed on earth and planned to force those quasi-emperors out, but who knew he would encounter the Blood Demon returning from outside the territory. The Blood Demon is a cultivator native to the earth. Before the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor, he slaughtered all the blood demons. With hatred, the blood demon set foot on the ancient road in the starry sky. Unexpectedly, when he returned, he would be a quasi-emperor. Master Netherworld said eloquently, the 2 naturally started a dark battle. In that battle, the Gore Fiend managed to escape as a remnant soul, and the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor was also seriously injured and had to leave the Earth. When he recovered from his injuries and prepared to set foot on the Earth again, he found that the Earth was difficult to enter. Over the years, Immortal Emperor Yanlong has been looking for a way to crack the Earth's Guardian formation. He thought he could succeed, but he still failed. Master Netherworld continued, about half a year ago, Immortal Emperor Yanlong noticed the Blood Demon's aura and learned that the Blood Demon's soul had merged with his body and had been reborn. He panicked, so he sent us down to kill the Blood Demon in advance. In addition, I want to strangle you, Xiantian Immortal Emperor, in the cradle. As for the Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor himself, he must not be able to enter the Earth, otherwise you and the Blood Demon would have already turned into corpses. I see. After hearing what Master Netherworld said, Su Yang nodded as if he understood. At the same time, he heard that the Blood Demon mentioned by Master Netherworld should be Su Mo. Su Yang, there's nothing more to say. Make your choice. Hand over what I want, or do you want to die? Master Netherworld stopped talking nonsense and said coldly, or maybe you want me to catch you and search for your memory. I don't want any of these. Su Yang came back to his senses, showed a smile and said, I still have one way to go, and that is, kill you. Kill me. Just you. Master Netherworld laughed wildly, haha, it's a joke. I think your realm is just foundation building. You. Just as Master Netherworld was talking, Su Yang had already taken action, and his fingers kept changing and kneading. Buzz. 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 The next moment, the situation in Kunlun Mountain suddenly changed, and terrifying forces rose up from the ground, completely trapping Genren Netherworld. These energies are red in color and exude a heart-stopping power. The most bizarre thing is that the surrounding temperature suddenly climbed to the extreme, like an oven. Lushan Baking Furnace Formation. Su Yang activated the Lushan Baking Furnace Formation. Although the Fengzi Master used tricks to trick Su King Ai out of the Kunlun Mountains and was able to enter, he was unable to destroy the Luo Tianhe Furnace Formation. At this moment, Su Yang needed the secret and directly activated this life and death formation. What? Master Yuming was shocked and murmured, what a powerful formation, I almost forgot. Immortal Emperor Xiantian has been in power all his life, and his attainments in formations are unparalleled. Su Yang, is this the reason why you are so confident? However, I don't believe that the formation you set up at the peak of foundation building can hurt me. Break it for me. After the words fell, Master Netherworld took action directly and used his strongest method. Boom! A terrifying force bombarded the surroundings, but the result was that the Luo Tian heating furnace formation could not be destroyed. The formation only trembled slightly. This. Master Netherworld was a little panicked, and then he shot one after another, but he was still unable to break the formation. But he himself was burned by the scorching heat and screamed in pain. Stop struggling. A peak nascent soul cannot break through the Luo Tianheng furnace formation. Just accept your death in peace. Su Yang said in a calm tone, then his eyes fell on Jian Chen not far away, and he smiled playfully, you also have fragments of Emperor Yanlong's imperial weapon on your body, so you must also be from outside the territory. Early stage of nascent soul, haha, I am only at the peak of foundation building. If you really use your hands, you can kill me with one slap. Unfortunately, this is Kunlun Mountain, and I have already arranged a life and death battle in Kunlun Mountain. Formation, you should also join the formation. With that said, Su Yang made a secret with both hands, trying to make Jian Chen fall into Luo Tian's furnace formation. Not good. Master Netherworld, I'll take the first step, you wish for your own blessings. Seeing this, Jian Chen did not dare to hesitate at all, his figure flashed, and he quickly left Kunlun Mountain. Su Yang didn't chase him, and there was a playful smile on his lips. It was obvious that all this was within his expectation. Su Yang gained a lot from this retreat and has already entered the nascent soul realm. If he used his hands and spent a little effort, he could kill Master Netherworld. But this time, those who came to the earth were 10 nascent soul peak. If the remaining 9 people attacked at the same time, Su Yang would definitely not be able to deal with it. Therefore, Su Yang deliberately activated the Luo Tianheng furnace formation and used the formation to punish Master Netherworld, making people believe that he was really only at the peak of foundation building. Later, he deliberately let Jian Chen go and told others to confirm the news that his level was low. In this way, the remaining 9 strong men from outside the territory will take it lightly, giving Su Yang the opportunity to defeat them one by one. Pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger has always been the truth in the world of cultivation. Immortal brother Xiantian knows this well. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 668. Su Yang let Jian Chen go because he wanted him to tell the other 9 extraterrestrial nascent souls and let them know that he was only at the pinnacle of foundation building. The reason why Master Netherworld could be defeated was entirely due to the Luo Tian heating furnace formation. Once he leaves the Lushan baking furnace formation, he will be a little rookie who can be slaughtered by others. After sending Jian Chen away, Su Yang's eyes fell on Genren Netherworld in the formation. At this moment, Master Netherworld has calmed down in the Lushan baking furnace formation. He sits cross-legged and performs his exercises. A spiritual energy barrier appears around his body to resist the raging fire. The effect of this was really good. Master Netherworld was no longer in as much pain as before, but the burning sensation was still there, and he was sweating like rain all over his body. Haha, you are indeed a master who fell from a high realm to Yuanying. Your strength exceeds that of most Yuanying peaks. Su Yang looked at Genren Yuming, smiled softly and said, "If I start a fight with you, I'm afraid I will use all my means." Su Yang didn't lie. Now, he has just set foot in Yuanying, and is only in the early stage of Yuanying. As for Master Netherworld, he is a strong man who fell from the realm of transforming gods to the nascent soul, and his realm is the peak of the nascent soul. There were several small realms between Su Yang and him, so if you want to win, you really need to waste a lot of means. Snort. Master Netherworld met Su Yang's gaze and snorted coldly, "What big talk? It's just the peak of foundation building. Without this formation, I can make you bleed to death without even having to take action." Su Yang did not explain this, and then said with a playful smile, "What a pity, you will definitely die if you enter my formation." Su Yang, you underestimate me. Master Netherworld smiled coldly and said, "Before coming to Earth, Immortal Emperor Yanlong once gave me a piece of dragon scale and told me to use it only in critical moments. I didn't expect that at this moment, I would use my final trump card. The dragon scales of the flame dragon Immortal Emperor come from himself. They are terrifyingly powerful. They are overkill to deal with you. But today, I have to let you experience them." Master Netherworld sneered and said, "But fortunately, Su Yang, you are carrying the Void Tower. A piece of dragon scale can be exchanged for the Void Tower. This deal is a good deal." Dragon scales. Su Yang frowned slightly, and then said, "I know the true form of Emperor Yanlong. It is a red fire dragon. Although he has countless dragon scales all over his body, not many of them are really useful. What is your relationship with him? Why would he give the dragon scales to you?" Su Yang asked curiously. "Haha, I won't tell you this." Master Yuming's expression was slightly unnatural. "Oh. If you didn't tell me, I might have guessed it." Su Yang smiled playfully and said, "I heard that Immortal Emperor Yanlong has a problem with his sexual orientation. He doesn't like women and prefers men. Old guy, don't you have that kind of unknown relationship with Emperor Yanlong?" Su Yang couldn't help but guess that he was deliberately delaying the time. In fact, he was secretly transforming the Luotian heating furnace formation to prepare for the strongest state of the Luotian hung furnace formation. Although Su Yang was just guessing, Master Yu Ming's face turned even uglier, and he was extremely ashamed. Haha, it seems that I guessed it right. However, the taste of this Yanlong immortal emperor is too strong. Instead of looking for a burly man or a butter boy, he actually found an old man. Tisk, 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 I don't know how moral it is. Destruction, or distortion of human nature. Su Yang continued to delay time, disrupting Master Netherworld's thoughts with words, "Old guy, I would like to ask, who is usually on top of you and immortal Emperor Yanlong? Does he think your beard is prickly? By the way, you are so old, and the bones in your body are all curled up. Has that thing shrunk?" When Su Yang asked this, he couldn't help but shudder, and said with disgust, "Tisk, tisk, tisk, the picture is too beautiful, I don't dare think about it. I am a pervert, but I think you are perverts." Su. Positive. Master Netherworld was furious, and turned to say in a deep voice, "Have you said enough? Who told you what kind of relationship I have with immortal Emperor Yanlong? Isn't it?" Su Yang asked doubtfully. "No. No." Snored. "Ah. Now. Su Yang, I'm too lazy to talk to you. I'll kill you as soon as I break through this formation." At this moment, Master Netherworld had a look in his eyes, and with a thought in his mind, he wanted to take out the dragon scales. The dragon scales are suspended in mid-air, emitting bright light, and their power cannot be underestimated. But at this moment, a soul power rose into the sky, trying to escape from the scene. Buzz. Dragon, dragon scales. In despair, Master Netherworld planned to activate Dragon Roar, but before he could finish speaking, he was completely burned to death. Immortal Netherworld emphasized it twice, and then told the truth, "Immortal Emperor Yanlong and I are uncles and nephews, and I am his biological uncle." Next, as long as he makes a thought, Luo Tian's furnace array can be activated to its strongest state. I've been waiting for you for a long time. You're just a soul. You want to escape in front of me. Huh, what a whim. Haha, it's too late. The fire in Luo Tianheng's furnace array is not an ordinary fire. It can naturally burn the physical body of the nascent soul realm. That's it. In just a few breaths, Master Netherworld's body turned into ashes. These heat waves seemed to be able to burn everything and make them invincible. Su Yang raised his arm, pointed his palm at the nascent soul of the nether realm in mid-air, raised the corners of his mouth, and murmured, "Han Bin." One of them is a disc the size of a palm. This thing contains a hint of the power of an imperial weapon and is a treasure he uses to resist evil. Su Yang showed a smile, and then opened the Lushan baking furnace array, trying to take away the disc and dragon scales. At the same time, Su Yang showed a sneer, and the next moment, Luo Tianheng's furnace array suddenly changed. "According to seniority, I am his uncle, but I can only call him master. If it were you, wouldn't you be embarrassed?" Master Yuming raised his eyebrows. In an instant, terrifying heat waves swept through the formation. "As a blood-related elder, he gave me a dragon scale that contains powerful energy. Isn't this correct? Is there anything wrong with this?" Su Yang had already noticed Master Netherworld's little thoughts, but he didn't care. This soul power is, without any surprise, the nascent soul of Master Netherworld. It is only as big as a palm and is completely a miniature version of Master Netherworld. At this moment, the pitiful cry of Master Netherworld could be heard from the Luo Tian heating furnace formation. As for the other thing, it was a golden dragon scale the size of a fist. Now only two things remain. When the time comes, Master Netherworld will definitely be roasted by the blazing temperature and turn into ashes. Su Yang glanced at Genren Yuming and muttered, "Then why were you so embarrassed just now? You still look so embarrassed." Haha, these two things are good. It is also because of this that he can appear on earth in the nascent soul realm without worrying about ominous troubles. I see, it makes sense now, Su Yang responded casually, and the preparations were done. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 669. The Soul Binding Secret Technique. Perfect restraint on the soul, nascent soul. During this retreat, Su Yang mastered the soul binding secret technique again, and his ability was much stronger than before. Although the power of the nascent soul of Master Netherworld is not weak, after all, he was once a god, he still cannot escape Su Yang's sanctions. If he had a physical body, Su Yang would have to go through a fierce battle to capture him. But once the soul and body are separated, the result is one-sided. At this moment, I saw a strong pulling force emerging from Su Yang's palm, and the Yuanying of the Nether Realm, who had been escaping quickly, was restrained and could not move forward any further. Ah! With a scream, Master Netherworld's nascent soul was held in Su Yang's hand. No matter how hard he struggled, he could not escape the control of soul binding. Su Yang, don't go too far. I am the uncle of immortal Emperor Yanlong. If you kill me, he will definitely not let you go. The miniature version of Netherworld Master still holds the hope of living together. Threatened Su Yang. Haha, do you think I'm stupid? Even if I don't kill you, Emperor Yanlong will let me go. Su Yang narrowed his eyes slightly and said with a stern expression, besides, have you forgotten my identity? When did I, the immortal Emperor Xiantian, ever be afraid of him, the immortal Emperor Yanlong? If you hadn't teamed up with several immortal emperors to attack me back then, how could I have been forced into the 9 nether hells? Su Yang said coldly, old guy, since you are a relative of Emperor Yanlong, then it is up to you to pay off some debts for Emperor Yanlong. However, before that, I'm afraid I have to torture you first, he. After the words fell, Su Yang became serious and began to use the soul-searching technique. Soul binding can restrain the soul yuanying of a higher realm than one's own, but soul-searching is different. Su Yang can only search the memories of people whose realm is lower than his. If the other person is higher than himself, the soul search will not be successful. But Su Yang wanted to give it a try. Anyway, there was a ready-made soul in front of him. If he didn't try, it would be useless. Hey, it still doesn't work. Half a minute later, Su Yang shook his head. The result was obvious, he failed. Searching for the soul is like scraping the bones and cramping. The nascent soul of Master Netherworld has long been unable to bear it and has become very weak. Su Yang didn't know how the 10 people who came to the earth this time could contact immortal Emperor Yanlong. He was afraid of causing more trouble, so he directly dispersed the soul of Master Netherworld and eradicated it. After completely killing Master Netherworld, Su Yang waved slightly, and the disc and dragon scales appeared in his palm. This disc looks like it was made in batches, but immortal Emperor Yanlong is not willing to buy one. After Su Yang looked it over, he smiled softly and said, I'm afraid immortal Emperor Yanlong has already prepared this kind of disc that can counteract the ominousness. If he disperses the power of his imperial weapon to make 10 similar discs, then his imperial weapon will need to be nourished for at least 500 years before it can return to its peak. Su Yang wondered, didn't he and the other 2 immortal emperors jointly arrange the Earth's ominous situation? Why does he want his servants to come to the Earth and be free from the ominous intrusion, but he spends so much money? Could it be that, the so-called ominous nature of the Earth is not arranged by Yanlong immortal emperor and others, but is determined by someone else? This idea flashed through Su Yang's mind. However, it is useless to think too much about such a matter that has no clue. The truth will naturally come to light when the matter comes. The disc is good. I have a void tower and I won't need it, but I can keep it and give it to others. It's just that there is the soul imprint of Master Netherworld on the disc. This is a bit tricky to deal with. Su Yang hesitated for a moment, and finally decided to remove the mark of Master Netherworld on the spot. In addition, the same is true for the dragon scales. Su Yang simply removed them together. About half an hour later, Su Yang succeeded. Now, the disc and dragon scales all belong to Su Yang, and they were put into the storage ring by him with a thought. Buzz. At the same time, a layer of void tower fragments suddenly broke through the sky and appeared directly in front of Su Yang. Su Yang was about to go to the Nangong family to save people. When he saw the void tower fragment floating in front of him, he frowned deeply and murmured to himself, "Void tower fragment, 6th floor. Isn't the 6th floor of the void tower on Su King Ai's body? Why does it suddenly appear here?" Su Yang suddenly thought of something, and he immediately guessed with a solemn expression, "Su King Ai, is he already dead? Is that why the void tower fragments flew back to me? Possible. Moreover, this possibility is very high. The Nangong family, he. Su Yang was furious, and then he put away the fragments of the 6th floor of the void tower. Then his figure flashed and he quickly left Kunlun Mountain and went straight to the Nangong family. Before going into seclusion, Su Yang had many things to do, such as going to see his mother, going to Jiangbei to find Li Feichuan, and going to Jufeng Mountain to see what kind of disaster Shuer said. Unfortunately, Su Yang was relatively weak half a year ago, so seclusion was the best option. Now, after coming out of seclusion, Su Yang had more things to do, but those things had to be put aside. It was more important to go to the Nangong family to save people. After rescuing people, Su Yang checked the whereabouts of his relatives and friends, then visited the place of Zen, Jufeng Mountain, and finally returned to Jiangbei, waiting for the spiritual energy to revive. At this moment, outside the territory, in the endless Wukong, Immortal Emperor Yanlong, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes, and there was a flash of anger in his eyes. "Yuming, he's dead. That's my biological uncle. What happened? Who killed him?" The 10 masters in the realm of becoming gods are all slaves of the flame dragon Immortal Emperor. Although they went to Earth, Immortal Emperor Yanlong lost most of their ability to communicate with their souls, but they could sense whether the other party was alive. Just now, Immortal Emperor Yanlong noticed that the Netherworld Master had been destroyed both physically and spiritually, and he immediately became angry. "Xiantian Immortal Emperor, could it be you?" The Flame Dragon Immortal Emperor looked down at the blue planet below and couldn't help but mutter to himself, with an ugly expression on his face. Half-year ago, he found the White Jade Immortal Emperor Yubayu and the Twaba Immortal Emperor Twaba Bodhisattva. He planned to gather the power of the 3 of them to open a gap, send 10 transformed gods into the earth, and sneak in himself at the same time. Originally, he had everything ready, but unfortunately, the natural formation that protects the earth has been strengthened in the past 6 months. Immortal Emperor Yanlong almost entered, but was eventually pushed out and could only watch 10 transformed gods step into the earth. He had also thought about lowering his level to that of a god, so that he could enter the earth with 10 god transformations. But as a result, Yanlong Immortal Emperor has no sense of security. After the realm of divine transformation reaches the earth, he can only reach the realm of nascent soul. But the realm of nascent soul is too low, and it is not enough to meet the real strong people on earth. If he suppressed the realm and then unsealed it on earth, Immortal Emperor Yanlong was worried that it would cause a huge reaction, so he decisively gave up. When the spiritual energy revives, the heaven and earth will see strange phenomena. That is my chance. There are still 5 days. Immortal Emperor Yanlong said coldly, "Immortal Emperor Xiantian, let you be arrogant for 5 more days. When I come to earth, I will be the first to get rid of you." The other side. Su Yang moved around according to the collected memories. When night fell, he finally arrived at the Nangong family. Urban Super Dude. Author, Eagle in the Desert. Chapter 670. At this time. Nangong family. This place is different from the Dongfang family. The Dongfang family's location is deep in the mountains. The Nangong family, on the other hand, is located in the suburbs of a city in the south, covering an area of 400 to 500 acres. The architectural style, a combination of Chinese and Western styles, complements each other and consumes a huge amount of money at a glance. Today happens to be the 80th birthday of Nangong Yu, the head of the Nangong family. At this time, the Nangong family was brightly lit and full of guests. There were dozens or hundreds of luxury cars parked in the parking lot outside. Original. The Nangong family was reclusive and had little reputation, but half a year ago, it suddenly emerged and occupied half of the country in the south. The famous families in several surrounding provinces united to resist at first, but in the end, they all surrendered to the Nangong family, became the minions of the Nangong family, and were willing to donate a lot of wealth. There is no other reason, just because of the strong strength of the Nangong family. Even if a young descendant randomly sent by the Nangong family could defeat the masters of the urban ancient martial arts world, how could they dare to continue to resist? Even the ancient clan forces in the surrounding famous mountains and rivers must bow to the Nangong family. As a result, the Nangong family became the overlord of the south in just a few days, and their position was unshakable. Now, the head of the Nangong family, Nangong Yu, is celebrating his 80th birthday. Is there any reason why the rich and famous families from several surrounding provinces should not come? Hey, this is not celebrating your birthday. You are obviously trying to steal our wool. Most of our families have handed over half of their wealth to the Nangong family, but the Nangong family does not hold back at all and is greedy. Yes, the Nangong family is a wolf that cannot be fed well. It will be difficult in the future. Everyone, please keep your voice down. There are many people with mixed eyes. If these words reach the ears of the Nangong family, we will definitely not get any good results. Yes, a few days ago, a century-old family in G-Port was exterminated by the Nangong family because they were unwilling to hand over a piece of jade inherited from the family. It's really tragic. I heard that the Nangong family are all legendary cultivators. After taking over the south, they searched for materials for cultivation. They were determined to get anything useful to them, and they would take it by force if they disagreed. Even killing people and annihilating families, it's better for us to be more honest. In the Nangong family hall, nearly 100 wealthy family heads who attended Nangong's birthday banquet were talking a lot. He not only hates the Nangong family, but also fears the Nangong family like a tiger. He dares to be angry but dare not speak out. But these people didn't know the methods of cultivators, and their conversation had already fallen into the ears of Nangong Yu, the head of the Nangong family. Now, sitting on the main seat in the hall was an old man wearing a red tang suit. The old man's face was wrinkled, all his hair had fallen out, his teeth were gone, and his mouth was wrinkled together. He was holding the dragon head crutch with both hands, looking down with his cloudy eyes, and a satisfied smile on his face. This person is the head of the Nangong family, Nangong Yu, who controls the entire Nangong family. Next to Nangong Yu, stood a young man of about 20 years old, wearing a navy blue sportswear and looking majestic. At this time, the young man in sportswear lowered his head, put his mouth close to Nangong Yu's ear, and whispered, "Father, those old guys below are talking about the Nangong family. Let me go over and kill them as a warning." As soon as he finished speaking, the young man in navy blue sportswear looked as if he was going to kill someone. 13. Stop. Nangong Yu gently stopped Ping Ping, with an old voice and a gentle smile. "What did I teach you? Fighting and killing will not solve the problem. You must think more before doing something. As the saying goes, think twice before you act." The young man in navy blue sportswear is none other than Nangong Yu's biological son, Nangong 13th Lang. In his early years, Nangong Yu was too unrestrained and obsessed with women, which led to physical depletion. Even at the age of 60, he still had not given birth to a son. Later, with the help of Chang Feng, an expert from outside the territory, he had a son at an old age, and he had his current son, Nangong 13th Lang. Because of the declining population of his lineage, in order to appear to have many descendants, he named his son 13th Lang. When outsiders heard this, they thought he had 13 sons, and 13th son was the youngest. After having a son at 60, Nangong Yu loved Nangong 13th Lang very much and even trained him as the successor of the Nangong family. That's what my father taught me. At this time, Nangong 13th Lang nodded and said, the child must follow the instructions carefully and think more. Nangong Yu said with satisfaction, you kid, although you have no talent for eating, drinking, and having fun, you often get me into trouble. Even the little girls from the ancient tribe dare to make noises, which makes the Nangong family have to compensate everyone for your behavior. The Daegyu clan has suffered heavy losses. If it were anyone else, I would have executed him long ago. Do you know why I still love you? Nangong Yu asked with a smile. Nangong 13th Lang shook his head and said, I don't know, kid. Haha, because you are my biological son, my biological son. If I don't pamper you, who will I pamper you? Nangong Yu was very happy when he thought of having a son in his old age. He smiled happily and said, 13, go and get ready. Remember, you have to be ruthless and eradicate the roots. Father, what are you talking about, child? After hearing his father's words, Nangong 13th Lang's face was full of doubts, but after seeing his father's eyes scanning the people below who were talking about the Nangong family, Nangong 13th Lang reacted, but he became more confused and asked in confusion. Father, didn't you say that you should be kind to others and think twice before you act? Nangong Yu nodded, then there was a flash of coldness in his eyes. Being generous to others means being generous to those who we can't afford to offend. We must not only be generous, but even humble. But the following family heads are nothing more than ants in front of our Nangong family. Nangong Yu sneered and said, a mere ant dares to talk about our Nangong family. If we don't show them some color, outsiders will think that our Nangong family is easy to bully. 13. You have to remember that if you can't beat someone, you have to show weakness and hug your thigh. If you can beat someone, crush him. No chicken or dog will be spared. This is the purpose of my Nangong family, Nangong Yu said coldly. Yes. 13th Nangong nodded as if he understood, and then responded, my child will not let you down. I will tear those old guys into pieces. Well, that's pretty much it. Remember, arrest him first and then kill him tomorrow. Nangong Yu smiled softly and said, today is my 80th birthday. It is not appropriate to see blood. Good. Nangong 13th Lang nodded, then seemed to think of something, and asked, Father, Grandpa has been dead for half a year. To this day, there is no news about the murderer. Nangong 13th Lang's grandfather and Nangong Yu's father was Nangong Yin. Half year ago, the Dongfang family held a meeting of the 10 ancient clans, and Nangong Yin attended on behalf of the Nangong family, but he never returned. The Nangong family sent people to look for him, and the Dongfang family responded that Nangong Yin left after the meeting. Xiaohuyan of the Xiaohe family and many representatives of ancient clans testified. At first, Nangong Yu thought Nangong Yin had gone to do something important, but who knew that a few days later, someone actually found Nangong Yin's body in the mountains 10 miles away from the Nangong family.